Alright, hey guys. So, for today's shave, we got some cool things in the house. So, one, I have a new brush, finally arrived today, and I have a funny story with that. Number two, we're going to do a shave off. So, in the last couple of videos, I've been using my newly acquired Paradigm Diamondback Ti. And I already knew I wanted to do some shave offs with it eventually because it just seems like it's pretty efficient to me and super smooth. Like I feel zero blade feel, which makes it feel that much smoother, right? It doesn't feel as efficient as my WR2 1.55 gap. It feels a little less efficient. I would say it feels about as efficient as my Blackbird Ti from Blackland. And I was kind of hesitant on what shave off I wanted to start with, right? Do I want to start off with more of an aggressive razor like the Blackbird Ti? Or did I want to start it off in a category against some of my medium efficiency razors like my Carve Overlander, like my Alpha Outlaw Evo Ti, like my Tatara Masamune A. Masamune A. And I already know it's maybe I'll do a shave off against the WR2 as well, but I already feel like it's less aggressive than that, so I really don't want to try to compare it to that. So I decided to bring out the big guns, man. We're going straight in to against the Blackland Blackbird Titanium, and this has been my prince of DE razors, my king being my WR2. This is a little less efficient, I think, than my WR2. Just a hair less, but it's still really smooth, but there is blade feel. And because of that blade feel, a lot of people translate that to it not being like the smoothest. And it's still really smooth. It's a smooth shaver, but there is a good amount of blade feel in there. This, there's no blade feel. It's like a ghost. So I'm going to compare these two today. I already know there's less blade feel in this. I already know there's going to be more blade feel in this. I want to see the efficiencies. In the hand, I don't know what the weight is on this one, to be honest. If I remember looking at the website, he doesn't even have like... Last I looked, Andy didn't even have any of the details on this, and he still hasn't gotten back to me on can he replace just the top cap? Can he replace the whole razor? And if I have to send him the top cap for him to try to polish those marks out, how long is the turnaround? It's been 2 days, haven't heard back from him. So the stories of the community of, because there's some stories in the community of wet shaving about Paradigm, about Andy, and him being a shit show. And my first experience with him, he replied right away as soon as I emailed him, within a couple hours. But now it's been 2 days later, and I haven't heard it from him since. So, I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'll hit him up again today. But I'm curious on the efficiencies on these. Is the Diamondback Ti as efficient as the Blackbird Ti? They feel about the same weight in hand, and that's where I was kind of getting at, is that I don't think Andy put any stats on this, like what the blade gap is, what the length of the razor is, what the weight is. I'll have to look again. Maybe he's updated that since last I looked. And as you can see, the handle on this one's quite a bit longer. This is like your average handle size, which I'm not even sure what it is, to be honest, off the, maybe, I don't know, what do you guys think? Maybe about 3 inches? Somewhere in there? Yeah, somewhere in there. But, as you can see, the Ti is a little bit longer, so maybe this is like a 3.35. Or maybe this is 3.35 and this is 3.5 handle. I'm not sure what average handles are in the wet shaving community, to be honest, but I just know that this handle size matches most of my razors. And it's always felt good in the hand. I've never thought, oh, maybe I should get something longer. And, I'm a right-handed person. As you can see, like, my pinky finger always goes below but I usually hold my razor something like that and just kind of find that angle and go with it. And I never realized like that, yeah, a little bit longer actually isn't bad either. I still do about the same kind of style. So, you know, maybe I'll talk about the handle length to see which one is more comfortable, and it'll also kind of give me an idea of going forward. Do I want to start trying to look for longer handles or not? But yeah, blades in both, we're making it fair, even though I still have a gently used Gillette Nosset back there. It was only on its second use. I took that out. We're going with Astra SP greens for both first use. And I said in my last video, I skipped my last PAA soap for my spring summers because it was a gloomy day. I wanted to use something more green, light, and that's when I used the Contemplation by Declaration Grooming. And so this one, last PAA soap that I have for spring summer rotation, and that's going to be Fireworks. I haven't seen this one released in a couple of years, so I don't know if he's going to mysteriously re-release it this year during the summer or not. I have the matching splash, and it's a great freaking scent, man. It says right here, made with real sulfur, and that's what I get. It smells like burnt up fireworks. I'm chilling in my RV the rest of today. I did a lot of errands today. I drove like 40 minutes away to go pick up this brush at the post office in another town, leaving as a nomad. When you get stuff shipped to you, sometimes you got to get them shipped to the post office, your local post office. And when you do that, it has to be under general delivery, under your name. And not every post office accepts general delivery. So, you know, I was in an RV park in Florida, and the only one that accepted one in that local area was pretty far away in a downtown area. And I moved to Alabama while this was already shipped. So I had to go back to that post office in Florida to go get it, which, you know, it's not a huge drive. You know, with me even driving slow, it was probably about a 40-minute drive. But I got to the post office, and they're like, oh, it's not here. I'm like, okay, it said it would be. So then I decided just to go walk around my dog for a little while, for like an hour or so, and then we went and did like it was like a 2-point-something mile jog, even though I wasn't wearing my running shoes, but today's Thursday. Thursdays I usually do runs as part of my fitness plan, usually a longer run. So I kind of slacked on that, but I ran like 2.5 miles, and on that run with my dog, got a notification that the brush was delivered, ran to the post office downtown, got it, got back in the truck, came back, went to Walmart, did some shopping, and now I'm back at the thing. So, I showed you the soap. Now here is the brush. And I bought this brush, well, I didn't buy it, but I had it custom. I put in my custom order. It's a custom brush through Milton at Turn and Shave last year. And I know that's like, wow, that's a long time. But it was a big order, and I ordered it when I retired. So I retired from the Marine Corps last summer, and it wasn't just my retirement from the military. It was my retirement from W-2 income. Because with my military compensation and my investment portfolio, I no longer have to work W-2. I don't have to work for income, right? To pay for my lifestyle, pay for all my bills. Between my military compensation and my investment portfolio, I make as much as I did while I was active duty in the Marine Corps at the end of my career, at the end of that, 20 years. And so I wanted something big for it. And, in some aspects, people do like crazy shit, like go buy like a $50,000 car. Other people will go buy like a fancy watch and things like that. My big splurges used to be I would go out to eat somewhere on big milestones. For this one, I decided my love of wet shaving, my love for turn and shave brushes, I wanted something big and unique. And that was this. So it's going to be, again, a turn and shave. That's the coin. This shape is called the crown, which I wanted really bad. It has a copper ferrule, which is just the top of the brush. And it's going to be hard to see, but it's a Hydra. So it's half purple and like a little bit of black with gold flake resin, which again, in person, right here, it's a deep, beautiful purple. On photos and video, I already know it's not going to come through. And then the other half of it is wood, and it's a dual dyed wood, being like a pink and a purple. Came out gorgeous. And the knot, like I said, I wanted to go big, man, being a head shaver. And it's a 30mm H7. So it was really hard for me to pick what knot to go with, to be honest, to pick what hair for something this big, just because it's an epic brush, epic build. I wanted an epic hair. You guys know M5 is my favorite hair, but I already have like 4 or 5 M5 brushes, and I have that big 29mm Galaxy one. So I was like already like, man, I already have a really big, beautiful H5. I thought about going with H6 because I do like my M6 a lot, but I've been just loving that 7 hair, that M7 hair so much. And you guys know I have that H7 in the Galaxy pour, but I figured, you know what? Let's go really big and let's get a 30mm H7 for this brush. And look at how gorgeous that is. Beautiful. And it's hefty. I was not expecting it to be so hefty. I guess, you know, the copper makes sense. I didn't think about that, though, but this sucker is hefty. So we're going to go straight to, I do have it blooming over here a little bit. And again, PAA is a pretty soft soap, but I wanted to bloom it because I haven't used this soap since last year. And even last year, I only used it a couple times. You know, it's one of those scents that I don't ever see me using often, you know. And it's strong. It's bold. Is it banging though? I don't know. I wouldn't wear this and then go out. I know that much. It smells just like burnt fireworks. Like you get the sulfur, you get the smoke smell. And I like that because it's like, it reminds me of, you know, 4th of July, having like a beer or two, seeing all the kids outside running around, blowing off fireworks. You know, it reminds me of camping. But yeah, not a scent that I'm like, man, I want the matching EDP. Throw that motherfucker on. But funny story with this. So Milton at Turn and Shave, he sends a card with him, right? And it tells you the stats. It tells you, hey, what the pour is, that it's authentically mine, and hey, even like what the loft is. So the loft on this is like a 51.2 or 51.7. And funny story is, it's really windy again here in Alabama. And I was, you know, I opened up the brush in the truck to look at it. And then I was trying to get my dog out of the truck. And I had the brush in one hand, dog in the other. I had some McDonald's, you know, which is what I'm drinking right now. And probably not the best idea to eat McDonald's. But, you know, I ran a little bit today. I was in a rush. So I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to have some McDonald's. I don't eat a lot of fast food, but I've noticed like I'm starting to eat fast food like once or twice a week again. And I haven't done that in like probably 10 years. But 3 days ago, I moved to Alabama. You know, today, half the day was spent 40, 50 minutes away from my RV. But when I got out of my truck, I didn't realize it at the time, but I think the card for this blew away. So I saw a card starting to come out of the box, and I was like, oh crap, better hurry. And I started walking. Well, we're going to go a little heavier than that. I started walking towards the RV, got the dog in, and, you know, even with him being tired, he just always goes fucking crazy because he's not the best well trained. And he still acts like a little puppy even though he's 5. And he's over here sleeping right behind me. And so I'm like juggling him, trying to get into the RV and all this other stuff. And I get in here and I go to look for the card. And I was like, oh, you know, it was falling out of the box. And I pull it out and it's not the card. So he sends 2 cards. He sends one card that has like the Instagram of his and the recommendations for taking care of it. And then the other card has all the stats. That other card's missing. And I know it was there, so it's not like he didn't send it. We're just going to dump the tips in a little bit. I know it was there because I saw it when I turned over the box. And maybe it's somewhere in my truck, maybe it's somewhere in my RV. I haven't seen it yet. But I looked around. I looked around in my truck. I looked around in the... And it's not an end-all, be-all, but to be honest, I like having those cards. I don't think I will ever let this go because, again, it was a present for myself for my retirement. It's big, it's beautiful, but who knows, you know, maybe 10 years from now, 2 years from now, I'll grow my hair out and I won't be a head shaver anymore, so maybe 30 millimeters will be too big for me. And I like keeping those cards because I think it helps with the resale, because now it's not me just saying like, hey, this is I know that coin says turn and shave, right? But instead of me just saying, hey, this is an H7 knot, it's nice having that little card that says, oh yeah, it's an H7. And we're going right to the head. It's kind of like declaration grooming at the bottom of his, how he says like B15, B13. I just kind of think that helps with selling of brushes. And it's not because I think people lie about that kind of stuff. I just think sometimes people don't realize what knot they have, because the original person that bought it maybe forgot and thought it was a different knot and sold it. Because I've had brushes like that. I had a brush that was sold to me as a ZT2 from Monzingo. I get it. And Monzingos, they don't come with a card. And all he has at the bottom is his coin. So, like, it's basically your word of what that brush knot is. And I posted it, showing it off in one of the Discord groups I'm in, and the original owner of it was actually in there. So the guy I bought it from wasn't the original owner, but the original owner is one of the guys that was in the group. And he's like, oh, that's not a ZT2, that's a ZT3. And I was like, oh, you sure? Because the guy I bought it from said it's a ZT2. And, you know, I don't think he was being dishonest about it, because I bought a couple brushes from him. And he's like, yeah, here, I'm the original owner of it, and here's, you know, here's a picture of it when I first got it. And I was like, oh, shit. And he told me, yeah, I don't think the guy lied to you. I think he just forgot, because he bought it from me a couple of years ago, and he probably forgot that it's a ZT3. So that's why I really do like that Milton does the cards. And this thing is just, look at that. It's colosso. So it does feel different than my 28mm H4. And I gotta say, Milton wanted to do a 50mm height with this, and my H7 28mm was also a 50mm loft. So I thought, well, if it's a 29, it's more hair. You're gonna want, I should get a higher loft, so that way it's not so that way it has a little less backbone. And I'm not sure if I should have did that. I've been thinking that for like the last couple of days. Should I have done that? Should I not? And it feels good. I mean, honestly, all your hair, it takes a couple uses for you to really get the feel of it. I feel like a soft little scrub in there right now. But honestly, the biggest thing, and I wasn't expecting it, I should have realized because of copper, is how heavy it is. So because of the heft, it pushes the knot down quite a bit. So that affects how it feels. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's hefty in the hands, man. I'm not sure what I think yet, to be honest. This is the first time I've had a brush that I've spent this much money on and waited this long for. And it looks gorgeous. It looks great, guys. So don't get me wrong. It feels good on the dome. But it's hefty as fuck, guys. I wasn't expecting it to feel so heavy in the hands. But now we're going to the shave off. So we're going to do the Ti on the right side and Ti. Diamondback right side, Blackbird left side. And I'm trying to not go over to like buff too much in spots because I think that will throw off the comparison quite a bit. Right? Because if you're going over a spot like 2 or 3 times, then that's not really an accurate interpretation, right? Because if you're going it's gonna cut more hair. So now, left side. And I can tell you right now, even with the Astra SP, still feels pretty smooth. And again, this has a lot of, like, I feel the blade right now, but it's still a smooth shaver. Like, it's extremely smooth, but there's definitely blade feel. Okay. So, I gotta say, hmm. Mm. It's gonna be a hard one, guys. In some, in like on these sides right here, the Blackbird Ti feels a hair more efficient. Like I can even see on this side there's a little bit more hairs than there is on this side. On the back, yeah, I feel like it's fairly similar. It's going to be a hard one, guys. It's going to be a hard comparison, I can tell you that much right now. I'm having a feeling the Blackbird Ti, after that first pass, might be a hair more efficient than the Diamondback Ti. Oh yeah, there we go. I might have to go back to the puck. Wow. Okay, yeah, we're going to go back to the puck, guys. I don't know, it's weird. In some ways this brush feels interesting just because of the weight of it. Like I said, I've never used a brush that was this heavy. So like, you know, without even trying, it's automatically pushing on that knot. And I wasn't expecting that. Got a little bloopage. And as of right now, it doesn't feel floppy by any means. But I'm almost wondering if maybe because of how heavy it is, I should have stuck with that 50mm loft. Because that would have kind of helped with it not splaying so easily. But at the same time, as you can see, we'll see. I'm going to have to keep using this over the next couple days. Play around with it just to get it really nice and broken in. But yeah, I'm wondering if maybe a lower loft would have been a little bit better because of how heavy it is. And I think we're good there, guys. Back to the shave off. Here we go. We're going to go across the grain. And Blackbird, across the grain. Yeah, I almost forgot how smooth this Blackbird is, to be honest. I mean, this thing is just sailing right along. And again, it does have a lot of it. I don't know if I would say it has a lot of blade feel, but it does have blade feel. Like I can feel right where that blade is at all times. And I think a lot of people do kind of they get that blade feel and then they automatically assume like it's really aggressive or that it's not smooth because you can feel the blade. But I still think it goes really smooth. I just think you can feel the blade the whole time though. Just getting some spots that are hard to reach in my inner ear. All right, across the grain for the top. Yeah, I don't know. Handle-wise, like the length, maybe I do like this length a little bit more than like this normal length, right? Which is, like I said, the average length of all of my razor handles, which is, I don't know what, like a 3 to a 3.3 maybe inch handle. Has always felt great in my hands, even though it doesn't, you know, because I just hold it like this, and it's always seemed to work good. All right, round 2 is done. Let's see. On that second pass, they feel about the same, guys. Round 3. Ooh. It's like a big cloud on my head right now. Big, big, luscious cloud. Dang, man. Add a little agua. Starting to lose a couple of hairs, which is normal. I can already tell this thing is going to eat soap with how big it is. And I'm curious how that copper is going to hold up. Like, do I have to do anything special to shine it up? Round 3 is going to be against the grain. And again, like, I don't feel the blade. I don't really feel much of anything with this one. It does seem to struggle a bit on the back of my head in certain spots against the grain. Boom, and we're still knocking hair off. But what I will say is the back of my head, it does have a little like dips in it that most razors do seem to struggle a little bit with. And we're just gonna go finish this side out by doing a against the grain on the top of the head. And man, I gotta say, like, I enjoy blade feel on my razors. Like, I love the Blackbird Ti because of that. But I gotta say, like, this, like, ghost blade feel, which is like zero blade feel, is also really fucking cool. Blackbird Ti against the grain, third pass. Oh yeah. I can just feel this sucker making things scream. I can tell you right now, the Blackbird Ti is not having those same difficulties going across, not across, but against the grain on the back of my head. It is just annihilating everything. Man. Such a smooth shaver, man. Alright, that was the third round. Let's get some agua on the head. Let's try it off our hands so we can get a better feel. Dude's waking up. Let's see what we got, guys. Okay. Need a touch up right there, which is just the peak of my head. That's always a weird one. Man, I don't know, guys. Let's just use this one. Is the Diamondback Ti as efficient as the Blackbird Ti? I think it's close. Let me wash that out a little bit. I think it's close, guys. The first pass, I felt like the Blackbird Ti definitely won it in efficiency. Second pass, I feel like it was pretty neck and neck even. And third pass, I feel like it was neck and neck even. Maybe it would be easier to tell the difference on the face. I don't know. Especially like if I did it right now when I have some growth. But I'm not trying to cut my face hair. I'm trying to grow it out right now. Let's get some Splash, which is high as fucking alcohol content. So this is probably going to sting a little bit. But whew, scent strength on this is probably a 7. Maybe even an 8. Actually, not too bad. A little burn, but not much. Which one is the more efficient, right? Because that's what I was getting at. Both feel good in the hand. Both feel about the same weight. I do like the longer handle. I don't have an issue with this size length, but now having a handle that long, it definitely feels... It feels maybe a little bit more comfortable, just because my pinky can go, but I don't know. When I shave, I usually kind of shave like that, so... Where this, I do the same thing, but now my fingers are wrapped around the actual thing. Feels a little bit more comfortable, but not enough to, like, for me to go out and say, like, oh, I need to change this handle for a longer handle, but it's nice to have a little bit longer of a handle. It doesn't, I guess what I'm getting at is it doesn't get in the way compared to a standard sized handle, again. So you can see the handle difference in size. Both are grippy. This one has a nice grip. This one has a nice grip. This one for sure is zero blade feel. This one has blade feel. They are probably about as smooth, but this one seems like it's a lot smoother because there's that no blade feel, right? Because there's no blade feel on the skin at all, it's like a ghost. So it makes this one feel a lot smoother. Where this one, because you get that high blade feel, it's smooth, but mentally it doesn't seem as smooth just because you can feel the blade the whole time. Again, efficiency, I would maybe give it to the Blackbird Ti by a hair, but I mean like a hair. Like, I would like somebody else to do this side by side on their face to see if they see a difference. But again, first pass, I had to give it to the Blackbird Ti for efficiency. Second and third pass, they were tied. They were about the same. So I guess you could say the Diamondback Ti is similar in efficiency to the Blackbird Ti, maybe a hair less efficient. Definitely not more efficient. It's about as efficient or a hair less efficient. Wrap up for today, we used PAA fireworks, which smells exactly like burnt off fireworks. You guys saw my first impressions with this brush. Again, turn and shave, 30mm Hydra. It's got the copper, it's got the double dyed wood, has this cool purple resin with gold flakes, man. Shit looks great in person. Has that 30mm H7. Great brush, man. I wasn't expecting it to feel this heavy in the hand. Like, it's heavier than the razors, which is pretty interesting. It's not as heavy as that. It's actually close to as heavy as this puck of soap. Yeah, pretty crazy. I wasn't expecting that, so it's a little different. It's not bad. Give it some time to break in, and you guys can see, like, right here even. Hair. It's going to shed some hairs. And I'm just going to keep using it for the next couple of days to kind of get really good impressions with it. But I appreciate you guys coming by for today's shave, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.